It is a little cold, but not too cold to be playing disc golf. So here we are, back at Sunrise Disc Golf Course, and we don't have a lot of time, but we'll see how many holes we can get in before we head out. So I've said this before, I've never gone to a golf course and been by myself. And sure enough, there is someone here that's already been here throwing. So I'm not the only obsessed person at this playing disc golf. I will say this is the first time that I've played disc golf and I've needed the gloves. So, and the crazy thing is, there was a time where, when I was living in Wisconsin, that this would have been shorts weather, but I've lost the thick blood to keep me warm, even though I've gotten thick. What are you gonna do? So on hole one, I'm gonna throw an M4. I just bought this new stamp, new color. I kind of like it, but you never know how a disc is actually gonna throw until you throw it. So let's see what happens. We're gonna do 2 off the box. A little better. So at Sunrise, the first hole, the parking lot is out of bounds. So I think I've said this to you before last time. And so I decided to throw 2 off the top because my first shot went out of bounds. Is that against the rules? Not on my channel. So on that first shot, I threw an M4, which is an understable disc, and then went right a little bit, but finished left. And then the second shot, I threw a PA5, which is definitely an understable disc. It's a putter. It was a little short, but that's fine. And I don't know if I told you this, but I putt with PA3s. I throw PA2s, best disc to throw, but I putt with PA3s. My hand is frozen. Oh, nice. So it's always fun to record a video using the front camera. And then when you rewatch the video, you realize, oh, I cut my head off or cut my head half off. At least you got to see the disc. So, all right, hole number 2, we are at 243 feet. Considering that hole number 1, I threw a putter, I'm very happy with that. All right, 243 feet. I'm going to throw my Distortion, which is an overstable approach disc, speed 4 with a fade of 3 at the end. The other downside to cold weather is playing disc golf in quite a few layers. And not only do you have a hard time feeling your fingers without the gloves on, but it's kind of weird trying to make these motions with 4 or 5 different layers on. Well, I don't have 4 or 5 different layers on, but you get the point. I'm curious, what do you guys do in cold weather? Do you just kind of rave it out and you're calling me a weakling for complaining about 31 degrees? Or do you have special clothing? Let me know down in the comments. Oh, that was trash. What am I doing? There we go. That's what I meant to do. I can't forehand PA3s. I don't know why. Whew. It's cold. This is hole 3, 238 feet, going through a lot of trees. If you remember my last video when I played in DC, had a lot of trees there. My buddy Grant, I'm going to throw through in the DC area through this purple disc a lot. This is my P model OS overstable, and I like it because I want to finish left once I get it through the trees. That might be too far left, but we'll see. So today I brought my little bag. On a lot of these courses, I'm only throwing like 3 discs. And I have this huge Prodigy bag, which I love, by the way. But the reality is, I'll carry like 25 discs when I go disc golfing and end up using at the most 5 of them. And so especially with these short wooded courses, I throw pretty exclusively putters. And so I went out and got a smaller bag, a small bag, so I don't have to carry so many discs when I know I'm not going to use that many. Now the downside, of course, is when I come out here and I realize that there's a disc that I want and I didn't happen to bring it because I was economizing my disc choice. And then it makes me think about, all right, if I only had 5 discs, which 5 discs would it be? So my question to you is, if you could only have 5 discs in your bag, what disc would they be? All right, not bad, not a bad bid. Perfectly honest, on this hole, it's actually a very good spot to get the par. Hole 3 at Sunrise, I'm generally going for par. I don't really think a birdie, not that a birdie is impossible, but sometimes with a hole, you got to say, is this a birdie hole or a par hole? Hole 3 at Sunrise for me, par hole. Hole 4, 170 feet. I'm going to go with my P model overstable disc again because it's not very far and I need it to go left. That was too low. I have a tree right in front of me. Yeah, I'm just going to lay this up. Short downhill putt, par 3, 183 feet. Let's give the PA5 a shot, see what happens. I'm going to go through the left gap. That was all right. I think I should have used something a little bit more stable. Oh well. I think that when I have an understable disc in my hand, and I know that the disc is understable, I throw the disc with more anhyzer than I should, because I'm thinking to myself, I want the disc to go right, so I'm going to pull out my understable disc so it will go right, and then my brain says, okay, then put Annie on it so that it will definitely go right, and then the disc ends up going to right. Am I the only one that does that? So I think I want to figure out a way, if I can find my disc. So I thought to myself, what if every time I bought disc and I had a whole bunch of putters or a whole bunch of mid-ranges and I made a stack and then I went out to a field, practice, but like blind, did not know disc was in my hand. And so the question I have is, would I throw the disc differently, assuming I couldn't just tell what was in my hand by feel? Would I throw the disc differently if I did not know the stability of that disc? I might try that. Complaining about my disc going too far right, and I'm not that far away from the basket. So don't complain. That's the moral of the story. Also, the moral of the story is sometimes when something is far away, your ability to gauge the distance is not very good. Nothing worse when you throw a disc and from your vantage point it looks parked, and then you walk up to the basket and you're like 25 feet away. So one of the things that at least I try to do is make sure that I don't get in my head that I'm parked or not parked, because again, putting is super mental. So when I think I'm parked and I get to the basket and I'm not, it like freaks up, really messes up my putting game, because I'm like almost mad that I'm not parked. This is 235 feet, and it always plays longer than it looks. You got to get through the trees. Now I have an F3. It's an air plastic. I find it tends to be a little bit understable for me. I'm gonna throw it on a little bit hyzer, see if it will move right, and then left, hopefully mostly straight through the trees. Ah, turned. Whew, that was a good flight, except for the tree that it hit. But it did exactly what I wanted to do. It's just it didn't turn right early enough before I knew it was going to fade left. Does that make me sad? A little bit. I'm going to try a forehand flex shot around the trees, have it come in, and I'm going to put a fair amount of angle. This is my distortion. I actually think that was okay. Okay, so that was not okay, but I got a long putt. See if I can make the par. But one of the things, you know, I hope this video or my video series is really good for beginning disc golfers, and try to focus on the positive. So on that last, my drive was not good. But I'll be honest with you, I threw it the way I wanted to throw it. I missed my line, of course, but I'm going to focus on the fact that I felt like I threw it well. And so I've been trying to get into the habit of always focusing on the positive and leaving every course going, what did I do well? And how do I build on that? So good layup. This is hole 7, par 3 downhill, 208 feet. We have a pretty nice gap between the trees, so I want a disc that's going to go pretty straight. So that's my PA2. PA2 is my straight disc. I love throwing it. Everyone should throw PA2s. This one is a little bit more unstable than the PA2 left at home, so I'm going to try to put a little bit of hyzer on it and make sure it doesn't go down the goalie. Let's see how it goes. Trees. Clipped a high branch, but the tree gave me some love. Little tip: whenever you're putting at a basket significantly higher than you, aim high. Player 2, baby. The aim high part worked. Just the aiming properly I failed at. I'm on hole 8, 216 feet, and for some bizarre reason there is a whistle on the sign. Huh, that's weird. I am not going to put my mouth on it to blow and show you that it works. Sorry. 216 feet, straight uphill, so I'm going to throw something a little bit understable. So I'm going to pull out the PA5. And another tip: when you're throwing uphill, try to pick something a little bit understable, because throwing uphill, you're automatically going to naturally put the disc on hyzer. And so the understableness of your disc, that you will fight that a little bit, so to give you more chance of that disc going in the direction that you want it to go. I think that's okay. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm running out of light. But the good news is, now that I'm more in the woods, It's blocking the wind and it's not nearly as cold. So I've ditched the gloves and I feel all right. One of the things that I hope to give as people watch this channel is little tips that I've learned along the way. Throwing understable disc uphill. All of those things I've learned from other pros, either on YouTube or play with a former pro, my buddy Doug. He gives me a lot of tips like that when we play together. But that's the beauty of all things. The more you do it, the more you learn. And especially when you do it with other people that know more than you, teach you stuff that you didn't know, help you improve. Long putt for birdie. Oh, I needed just a little bit more on that. That was a good bud. That was a good putt. I liked it. We are running out of light, and we are in the middle of the woods. So I think I need to speed up a little bit. All right, hole 9, 208 feet. I'm going to pull out that PA 5 again, throw it to the left, have it move to the right. I think I got a good roll. Again, threw it to left. And that is because I put way too much hyzer on it because I was so focused on getting that disc to move to the right, I overcompensated with my angle of throwing the disc. So basically, I just need to remind myself, let the disc do the work. Again, for those of you that are new to disc golf, a little tip for you, let the disc do the work. It's actually very similar in golf, where you let your club do what it's designed to do instead of trying to force it. And once again, not nearly as bad as it looked from the tee box. Let's see if we can make this putt. Ha 2, baby. Don't judge where the disc is going to be until you get there. Thought it was going to be a horrible short, and it was not nearly as bad. Boom. Oh my gosh, running out of light. Can barely see. Do not want to get my disc set up in a place where I lose it. Jump to hole 15, 222 feet. We are downhill, and I'm going to try the M4, see if I can't get it a little bit down, and I don't want it to go too far. Actually, this is too much disc. Mid-range is too much disc. I'm going to throw my PA3 glowed plastic KJ. Actually rare that I throw a PA3. Let's see how this does. Come on, come on. I hear it. It definitely landed. The challenging about this hole is it's so steep downhill, and then at the bottom of the hill is the creek / river. So I threw the PA3 and went a little bit right, but it should finish left on me. Think about my PA2s, sometimes they finish right if I put too much on them. But let's see what happens. We got downhill, so got some chains though. Got a few chains. That was a dangerous putt. Now that I record myself, I start to notice all the things that I do. I notice that when I play and it's a little bit cold, I sniff a lot. I hope that's not too annoying for you. I also have noticed that I say the word all right a lot. So I gotta consciously make myself not do that if I can. So, all right, it's definitely getting dark. On my camera, it doesn't show how dark it actually is, but trust me, it's dark. So we are going to rush through hole 16, and I'm going to try not to talk so much. All right, eyes are on it. That actually worked out really well in the fairway. downside to this Sunrise course, if you ever come here after it rains, especially after hole 16, the fairway is crazy muddy and crazy slippery. So be careful. This is another one of my par holes. As a general rule, I do not know how to birdie this hole, but it's still fun. Sit, sit, sit. It did not sit. Oh well. Oh, come on. Seriously? Ah, that's even worse. I'm not a good strata putter, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better. All right, come on, Brett. Hole 17, 190 feet. PA 5. Let's not over ante it. Miss. Ah! That was so good. That was so good. That was a layup. I lay up on purpose because it's getting dark. And I'm just going to have to come out of here with a par. 18, 281 feet. I do not know if you'll be able to see the disc, but F3 time. Here we go. Okay. I'm a little worried, y'all, because it was so dark that I could not see where the disc went. And there she is. There she is. Long putt for par, but I'm going to give myself a little bit break because it's dark and I'm rushing. A bit too much power. Not enough power. Oh well. In the last rays of sunshine, or the lack thereof, I end today's round with a bogey. Thanks everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. Once again, feel free to like and subscribe if you like the video. If you want to give me some love. The bottom line is I definitely appreciate the love that everyone's given me so far. I really do. It's actually been very life affirming, and which I think is awesome. I hope my videos have been life affirming for you. Hope you enjoy them. My goal is to always publish minimum every Tuesday, but if I get extras in, maybe I'll figure out those short sections or do something extra midweek. Anyway, keep it real. And remember, if you ever see me out there on the disc golf courses, say hi.